All right, this is the intro to episode 13.
It's actually episode 12.
Of the Run with Chestnut podcast, where we talk about Midnight Sun. What's up, Simon?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I think this is the first intro we're doing to an episode.
Yes, it is.
Right, so like you the audience, you would not have heard the music yet. The music will be coming momentarily, I promise.
Yep.
We just thought it'd be a good idea to intro it so we don't just throw you into the deep end of this episode.
Right.
So in this episode, it's me. Simon actually intros this episode, which was pretty fun.
Yes.
First time Simon introducing the episode. Anyway, we have two guests, Lily and Zulay, who you will be meeting momentarily. They are two lovely people that we've known for years, and they are huge fans of Midnight Sun.
Yes,
and of the whole series, and Young Adult, and all these other things also, total. And so we thought it would be awesome to have them on this podcast. And discuss about the book. We cover that. We cover other young adult vampire books in the similar genre. Anita Blake, House of Night. We talk about Harry Potter a little bit. We cover a lot, right, Simon?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Anything to add before we roll the music?
No. Stay tuned and enjoy.
All right, cool. Enjoy. If you like this episode, we definitely liked recording it. Please leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Anyway, we are at Run with Chestnut, Instagram, Facebook. Anyway, music. Roll the music.
Run with Chestnut.
This is episode 12 of the Run with Chestnut podcast. We are joined today by our host, Francesco.
Me. Yeah, that's me. That's right.
And two new people. Well, Francesco, me, Simon, and two new people who have
that's
not...
3 people. Francesco, me, and Simon. That's 3.
Yes, and then
Why
two...
are you like this?
And then two new people who have previously not been in any of the episodes. No, they have not.
Oh, okay.
First up, we have Lily. Lily, say
Hi.
And then we have Zulay.
Hi.
I would like to put a disclaimer out there since she won't. Her name is actually Zulay.
Thank you.
Ah.
You know you're always looking out for me, and I always
did
forget.
not know that, actually.
Except every
Interesting.
time I say Zulay, Lily laughs at me.
Well, I do because you put a lot of emphasis. You're like Zulay, like you're like.
Okay, slightly lower register, slightly
Zulay.
more. Yeah.
Zulay.
Zulay. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
Yes.
as my buddy Simon said, this is the Run with Chestnut podcast, and today we're going to be talking about Midnight Sun, which is the awesome new book that just came out by Stephenie Meyer. Thank goodness this came out, because that is exactly what saves 2020 from the pandemic. This is what we needed.
After 12 years of silence.
12 years of silence.
And years of saying she's going to write one, and it's going to get released. And
To be fair, she did write like half of one.
And then somebody leaked
I guess.
I
Oh,
disagree
yeah.
with you.
Yes.
Oh, you disagree?
Yes,
What do you disagree with?
that this was the best thing to happen in
That-
2020.
Okay, besides this episode. Besides this podcast.
Well, no, listen, because Starbucks,
Pumpkin spice latte!
today.
Oh.
Today is the day.
Is it today?
It's
Yeah.
today. It's the
Oh.
first
Really?
day.
Actually, no, I think it was the 21st, actually, and then
No,
Dunkin'
25th.
Donuts was on the 19th.
25th.
Oh,
Okay, I got to go to Starbucks and try that, because I keep hearing about it, and I've heard you guys say it's good, but I've never
Simon, you
actually
need to get
tried
your
it.
basic white girl on, and you need to join us, okay?
Hashtag team.
Basic white
I
girl.
loved Simon's. He's like, I don't know if I'm down for that.
You gotta be comfortable with your inner white girlness.
Sure.
Don't worry,
I
we'll make you
love putting
comfortable.
Simon on the spot.
I know you. I'm sure you do, especially now that you have an audience too.
Yes, I have an
Cater to.
audience to put him on the
I'm
spot.
sorry, Simon. I'm sorry.
It's
Oh.
okay.
Lily, if anyone in this world puts me in my place, it's this girl right here, Lily. So I'm excited to have this conversation and future conversations where Lily plants her firm foot on the top of my forehead and, kind of rubs it down a little bit. in a non-creepy way.
I was going to say, that sounds slightly freaky. I don't know what y'all are. I don't know. Should I leave? Come back?
Francesco, I take the red approach. That is not where my foot goes.
That's very true. Cool. Before we start talking about the book, Lily, you
Yes,
did
dear.
something earlier today that I'm very interested in.
I did.
You had
I
a
got
hair
my
appointment.
done.
Yes. You had a hair appointment.
I did.
Now, last week we had an episode actually on this podcast talking about navigating blind pandemic or navigating the pandemic as a blind person and the different aspects that went into that, you know, like trying to distance and you're not knowing someone's there and you like sidling up to them and they're giving you funny faces because you're not supposed to be
I
6
did write a
feet.
blog post about
Yeah.
this.
Please enlighten us on your hair appointment. If there was anything that happened that, you know, was different from normal.
Not really. I mean, I have a mask
All right, well,
and
thanks,
all
Lily.
that. Oh.
Wow.
This is how he treats me.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I wear a mask. This is a friend of my mom's. So she has like a professional setup like in her house though, and so she limits it to just like my mom and I go, and then once we're gone, then she'll have another person come in. It smelled like Lysol, so I presume that she cleaned up and all that good stuff. So
Is this Juanita?
yeah,
Okay.
And I'm assuming there's no waiting area.
no,
Okay,
Unless
that makes
it's her
sense.
living room.
the stairs leading to her
The
basement.
stairs leading, yeah. All right, that's cool. I hadn't had a haircut in a very long time and kind of frightened to let my mom near my head with a pair of shears. But
Oh my god, let me do it.
no. No. I'm trying to survive this pandemic, okay, Lily?
Chuckles, I'll make you look pretty.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about you
God,
making me look as pretty as Edward Cullen. Perfect
Imagine-
segue.
You don't have liquid.
You could
topaz
never.
eyes.
I was just gonna say that.
I just
And
had the
perfectly-
expression. I just had the expression "pretty boy" in my head, and I can't picture that with.
No, my Chuckles is more rugged, aren't you? But here, let me get you some liquid
Ooh.
topaz contacts.
Listen,
And
You're-
some
I
perfectly
got you.
tousled bronze hair. Don't forget the
Ooh.
bronze hair.
Yes.
Wait, you talking about me or Edward?
No, Edward.
Oh.
Which we're gonna transplant onto you because we're making you into a pretty boy.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm-
Anyway,
I'm not used to you guys being nice to me, or at least Lily being nice. Like
I was
used to
gonna say
abuse.
Francesco. What? I feel offended.
No, not you. I just kind of Lily. I'm not used to being nice to me.
Oh, you know what comes and goes.
Oh, it does come and go. Touch and
And
go, touch and go.
we have company, you know?
That's we do have company. We have a lot of company. We have
Y'all need to go to couples
hundreds,
therapy.
Singular of company for now. Cool. Before we start, let's just go around and answer the biggest question that was plaguing the Twilight saga, right? Like in the 20 zeros,
2020.
2000s, late
2000s,
2000s.
2000, yeah, sorry.
Simon.
Thank you. All right, I don't know what's going on today. Okay, these ladies, you're putting me on the spot. Anyway, which team were you on
Well,
before you read this book?
I was Edward in the books and Jacob for the movies.
Same. And yes, it's a valid answer.
Because Taylor Lautner. I loved me some Taylor Lautner.
Wasn't he kind of scrawny though?
No,
Ooh,
he buffed
Taylor?
up for
No,
Jacob.
yes.
Wait, that was him buffed up.
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Listen, have you watched Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Comparatively, as an adult man.
Wait, what's that?
To be fair, I was gonna say he was a
Another
baby
I
in
know.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. That's not right.
It is a movie.
Is Shark Boy?
Okay,
Is that the
never mind.
McDonald's franchise thing that they partnered with, and you get little toys in the Happy Meal with the little dude and
I mean,
the fish
they
dude?
did have a Shark Boy.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. That was him.
I mean, it might not have been
When he
him
was a
on the
child.
toy,
Right.
but he turned into Shark Boy.
Okay. Simon. Team.
Edward.
Wait,
And-
are you supposed to answer that? Are we supposed to answer? Okay, I guess
Yeah,
we are.
I was
Okay,
about to
okay.
ask you.
I guess. Yes.
Honestly, I want to say Jacob, just because Edward kind of got very sissy.
Really? Okay, I
Yeah.
don't remember this. I barely remember the
Expound on
series
that,
as a
because
whole.
what do you mean?
Honestly,
And also, Francesco, you
yeah.
are perpetuating toxic masculinity.
You are. Let's
What's that?
break the cycle.
No. I feel he's very self-absorbed, Edward.
Anyway,
Oh, is he? Really? Okay.
Very
I
into
really
I'm
don't
so evil, and I'm so bad for this world, and I'm gonna
Ah.
purposely damage you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, okay.
That,
I
I can see that.
I know it'll
Alright.
hurt you if I leave, but I'm gonna do it anyway, so I can feel good about myself. Because I
The
don't want
what?
Okay, that is so true, though. That is so true.
So true.
to. Thank
So
you. Can
true.
I get a thigh slap? All right.
I got you.
Anyway, yes.
That stung a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah, that's-
It sounded like there was some power behind it.
So okay, where would you guys like to take? Go ahead, Lily. Just go. Go.
Okay.
Tell
So
me.
I really enjoyed this book, actually. I felt like the world was richer through Edward's perspective. I feel like I actually liked Bella from Edward's perspective. Just the conversations that were not there in Twilight about her, because, she didn't care about herself, so she, and that's very problematic. But the fact that she, was just like, oh, you want to ask about me? I'm so boring. Why? And then, so now hearing...
You're so perfect, and I'm so not.
And so now hearing her talk to Edward, and she likes Linkin Park. When did you get enough personality for a Linkin Park song?
God.
She became like a 2.5-dimensional character. Still not 3-dimensional, but from her flat 1-dimensional self in her books, I thought she was a lot richer. He helped to color in some of the lines. I mean, she's still see-through, but he helped to color in the lines.
You're never gonna let the see-through thing go.
No, I'm not gonna. Why is this young woman see-through? I don't understand.
Can someone explain to me what you mean by see-through?
This is how he described her. Not just translucent skin, as see-through. So she's glass.
Yeah.
I keep saying this, and I will continue to say this. I have albino friends. They are really pale, but they are not clear glass.
You can't see their blood and veins and tendons and things?
Mm-mm,
Oh.
no.
So-
Not the albinos, but Bella.
No, apparently you can.
On Bella, you definitely can. You can see her bones, too.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can. The
Wow.
fragile bones.
There's just
Wow.
no
Yeah,
skin.
the fragile bones.
Okay.
He compared her to
Oh
onion
my
skin.
God! Wait, Lily. Okay. I found the part where he says that her skin is see-through.
Okay, I was gonna look for it, but I didn't feel
I
like moving.
found it. So this is when he's going crazy, and I guess he's like, he's fantasizing about killing her, and he's like, uncomfortable but manageable, more bearable than smelling her, and not sinking my teeth through that fine, thin, see-through skin to the hot, wet pulsing. Sir, what is
Okay,
going
that got
on?
hot and sexy really quick.
It got pulsing really quick.
It really did. It really did.
First, I'd like to commend Zulay for bringing this podcast to a whole new. We're introducing quotes in this episode.
Yes,
That's
we
a
are.
whole new level of mastery. Anyway, okay, continue. See-through, fragile bone skin. Yeah,
Yeah, she's
That's
like
pretty.
the skin, the outside of the onion. She's translucent like the
I
onion skin.
I feel like she, for the first book for it felt like she dumbed it down to be more widely available. Right? It's like a very easily digestible, fast read. And I think she
I can
had the
see that.
license to go more in detail. I mean, it's twice
Because she
the
already
length.
got the fans.
Right.
But also, it does. I don't know if I would say that she grew as a writer without having reread the series or reread parts of the series first. But I feel like just in terms of descriptions and the way she told the story, I feel like it was better done than in Twilight as well.
Yeah.
I would
also-
say, though, the first book was digestible, though.
That's what I'm saying. It was too digestible. That's the point.
I think that but you can see her growth. So I reread this and I love this.
Wait, what?
I reread, no, I didn't reread it. Sorry. I read Midnight Sun and loved it, and it made me want to go reread the series, which
Okay.
I did. I just finished Eclipse. I'm about to start Breaking Dawn as soon as we get off this podcast, actually.
Okay.
And I think that her writing was growing, as she was going along in the, throughout the rest of the books. Yes. But I definitely, a lot of people on Goodreads were that they see her growth as a writer and stuff. And I definitely agree. But I think what Lily was going to say, and I agree, was that the reason why it gets to be longer is because he doesn't have to be burdened by sleeping. And his world is a lot fuller and a lot richer and a lot more. And that's why I think his descriptions are better than hers, because also think about it, her senses, like it's always drilled in that she's a human, right? The senses are dulled, whereas his are sharp. He's like a predator. He has to focus onto all of these things, and so he pays a lot more attention to a lot more detail.
That's fair, and it also provides a lot of more backstory, right? Which takes up more time, like the whole thing of what they did with the dudes that try to get her in whatever that city that was,
yes,
right? And how like they went back and like that's a whole. I'm sorry. I'm totally playing. I knew the name, I just didn't want to say. Anyway,
I know you do.
Flaws.
Your audience has to know, okay?
I'm offended at the prospect of you calling a town with 20,000 people a city. That offends my sensibilities.
That's New York City. That's
a New Yorker, yeah.
As a New Yorker,
that's a neighborhood.
Very offended.
That's a neighborhood.
It is. Okay, no, listen.
That's Long Island.
Seriously.
What's the okay? Since you brought up the rest of the books, I'm going to ask one. How creepy is it that Jacob has both gone after the mother and the daughter?
Super creepy.
Okay.
How
Super
creepy is
creepy.
it? Right?
Wait, you mean Renee?
Renesmee.
Renesmee.
Oh, Renesmee.
That's the grandmother.
We're going for the trifecta.
That's the trifecta.
That is weird.
Right? Like, give it
And
15 years for her to grow up a
grooming.
little bit.
It's grooming. He's grooming
He's
her.
grooming.
Because
her.
it's like they're not going to be lovers, obviously. I hope not anyway while she's a child. But
I hope that Edward would destroy him.
I think he would. Bella too. But
Bella
I feel
too,
like,
yes. The Loch Ness Monster.
The Loch Ness Monster.
But even as they are, like hanging out, and he's like, Uncle Jake, like he's still, going to have an influence on her and her personality.
Yes. Wait a minute.
And
Do
that's
you
just
know?
weird.
Do you remember when we were talking about like the defense that we used to have with the story and all those things? And reading Eclipse, you really it really has been 12 years because I really forgot this part. Do you remember that one of his friends, I believe it was Quill, imprinted on Emily's 2-year-old me?
Yes.
I did not remember.
I completely forgot about that till I read it, and I was like, "Oh my god, no, this is not acceptable."
That
she was setting up though for the pedophilia that was to come.
It's like, look, see, this is normal. We normalized it. It's fine,
Mm-hmm. It happens. It's okay. Let me explain to you why it's okay.
Is that not also weird though? That his attraction to her was the attraction to her unborn child?
Yes, because what if not Ella?
What if they got together?
What if they had, What
Well,
if there was like a teen pregnancy and then there was like you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I guess he wouldn't have imprinted on his own child. I hope.
Then would he have imprinted on his stepchild? Like, she got back together with Edward. Like,
let me tell you something.
Would that attraction have gone away once they had a child? And it's like, I'm not actually into you.
Oh my God!
Didn't work out the way it was
I don't.
supposed to.
Well, no, because it would have been love and not that imprinting. So he can still love somebody. Mm-hmm. But what I will say is that what if Bella hadn't been horny and didn't want to sleep with Edward, and she had been like, let's just get married right now? Would she have never have imprinted on anybody?
Or what if after they got married and she was actually like, distraught by the fact that she was getting bruised by her super strong husband
I'm about
that
to
she
read
divorced. It's like, you're way too excited to read the bruises.
Let me tell you why. I was on Twitter the other day and this girl was like, listen, Edward had all of those years and he still made her first time horrible. And I was like, listen, to be fair, he was a virgin too. She was like, he couldn't pick up a book. And then we started talking about talking about the bruises and stuff and him gouging the headboard and ripping
biting
the
pillows and stuff.
He bit some pillows. Who bites pillows?
She woke up covered in feathers, bruises, and wood chunks.
Wow. I forgot so much of this.
That might be for the best, Simon. Because
I read this when I was 13. Wow.
Yeah.
I read this when I was 13 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's a long
Remind me, the whole 50 Shades thing, did that come out of this? Right?
Yes.
Was that
Yes,
fan fiction or something?
Fanfic, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Jose, the Mexican, was, Jacob.
He was not Mexican. He was Puerto Rican.
Really? Are you sure?
Guys.
He was. I promise you, he was Puerto
No,
Rican.
you're lying to me.
Puerto
Literally,
Rican sounds familiar.
I promise you, he's Puerto Rican. I promise you.
If
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, look it up for me and let me know. I'll talk to my being racist. That's fine. Let me just know that it was inadvertent
Why is he
racism.
Mexican? Because he's brown and his name is Jose.
I mean, No.
Let's just say
exactly
I've only
why.
read the first 10 chapters of that book before.
50 Shades of Grey? Listen,
Yes, and I got
count
bored.
yourself
Listen,
lucky.
I got
Simon,
to the
pick
third
it up
one.
and don't make an Edward mistake, aka do what he didn't do and get
Yes,
You go-
but
you
Do
go-
everything that Edward and Christian
It wasn't
Grey
even-
did not do romantically.
Can you imagine?
it wasn't
if you
even good descriptions.
No, if you combine both of their techniques, what would you get?
Something that I want no parts of.
Get a lawsuit. That's what you get.
Yes. Oh my God! Wait. Oh my God! Wait a minute.
Is he not Puerto Rican?
No, he's not Mexican. At least not. I'm gonna look in the other books as well because it's not popping up.
Maybe she didn't say. Maybe that's why I assumed.
Oh, maybe
Because
that's
they're
a
on the West Coast,
possibility.
you know?
You could probably
Oh.
Google what
I could.
What's his name? Jose?
Google it. Yeah, Jose.
Yeah.
What was the father's name? You have no idea.
Frank?
I only know.
No. Jose's father. Not.
He had a name?
He had a father? I mean, I guess he did. I was like,
I think we need to reassess a few things, Chuckles.
did he have what?
Yeah, he did. I could have sworn they showed the father like one time. I remember the most random parts of things. I don't know.
Does it say something that we started like this was supposed to be about Midnight Sun? And
Oh my God, it was.
Now we're talking about 50 Shades. I don't know how that happened.
Okay. Let's bring it back to Midnight, but I'm looking for Jose right now.
Midnight.
So I guess while she's looking, I guess I'll go. I really, really also really enjoyed the story.
It's a gray wiki. Yes. Perfect.
As evidenced by my rereading of the whole series, I really got sucked back in. I agree. I definitely like Edward a lot more, and I've gotten sucked back into the, oh my God, Edward is so romantic. Now I'm like, okay, this man is definitely creepy, and all of the things and all of the criticisms are still very much valid. But it's very unhealthy, and I need him to seek therapy. But I love the way he loves her, and I believe his love of her makes more sense to me than her love did of him. Like you see the progression for him. With Bella, it was always like this
Chemistry you were supposed to believe in.
yes,
Yeah.
and like this hyper fixation on like his beauty and his perfection. Whereas he's like, oh, she's so kind and gentle and considerate and like all of these things. And I mean, I think he's giving her too much credit, but I can, if this is how he perceives her, I can understand why he loves her the way that he does. Like one of my favorite parts of the whole series was that like you really got to see the relationships developed further. I adore his relationship with Esme. It's one of my favorites. Like I love seeing their interactions, like how she is with him, the fact that she's so concerned over him, and like I feel like he's her favorite, and I love seeing that mother figure for him.
I like him and Alice.
Oh, I've always loved him and Alice.
Right?
They have a great relationship.
I like Alice.
Mm-hmm.
I did also really enjoy Esme. Sorry, I was going to respond to you, but I was looking up Jose. They don't give him ethnicity.
Oh, so did I just make him Puerto Rican? That's so rude.
Because you wanted to counter me calling him Mexican.
No, I swear to you, I promise. I've always thought that man was Puerto Rican.
The actor is Dominican, but that's,
So neither.
That's all.
Neither.
Wow.
So he's just a brown man.
He's just a brown man named Jose Luis Rodriguez Jr.
Oh, we had a Luis. I didn't know his middle name.
Thank
Offended.
This
His name is Jose
sponsored
Luis.
by the internet.
Yes. Shout out to Google. Who created Google? Shout out to them.
Edward had Google before he went to the island with Bella.
Oh, he did.
He didn't have to pick up a book. He could have just Googled.
He could have. But he still didn't know that she was pregnant. I'm sorry, this is about Midnight Sun.
So I was going to say that I love him and Esme. Like not only him being able to hear her thoughts, but also just the way they interact. And I love the fact that, when he left to go on his like blood drinking binge, like she and Carlisle were just happy to see him. Like there was no ridicule. I always bring up this scene, like I keep bringing up the scene, but I loved when he like came in from the rain.
I got you. Hold on. I got you.
Oh, hold on. Paint the picture.
All right. I'm going to paint the picture for you. So Edward is being Oh, this is okay. So Bella went to the house. Life is great. They're in love with each other. They've admitted it to each other. She knows he's a vampire. Life is going to be wonderful. He took her to meet his family. His family loves her. Right. We're not talking about Rose. She doesn't count in this scenario. They're going to go play baseball. Jasper's really excited. What was I going to say? Jasper's really excited to go play baseball with them because he loves like seeing their emotions together and stuff, and it makes him happy. So he's talking to Emmett. He just came out from outside. It's raining outside. So yeah, that's the scene that we're in, and then I'll start reading. Okay. Where are Alice and Jasper? Emmett was watching the game again. Hunting. Jasper wants to be ready. Funny thing, seemed like he was excited for tonight, more than I would have expected. Funny, I agreed, though I had a little more insight into why. Edward, dear, I can hear you dripping on my floors. Please change into something dry and mop that up. Sorry, Esme. I
love that. Like, that was just such a domestic scene. Like, even vampires have to mop the floors.
Yes. She's like, boy, I love you. Don't play with me. Mop that up.
Something I also really enjoyed was the fact that Edward could not fully read Charlie's mind.
Yes.
But then the fact that, like, Renee's could, like,
mind
influence people was, like, so, like... You know, I thought that was really cool, like, getting that origin of potentially, like, why Bella ended up being such an anomaly. Also that as Renee's blood also smelled good, you know, not as good as Bella's, of course.
Never as good as Bella's, obviously.
But, you know, it's nice that she wasn't just like a special snowflake out of nowhere, you know? Like, her parents, there's some origin. But something else that I liked about Edward's narrative is that while Bella is special in her world, like, she's the only one because she's the only human that she's aware of, she's also not special because, you know, all of these vampires with different powers. And yes, I know that she's the human, but she's the anomaly, obviously, because he can't read her mind. But it's not unusual for there to be powers or for there to be, like, quirks.
I'm looking for the scene, but I can't find it. But I also love that Esme loves, like, I love that he plays the piano and that we get to see that a little more here because honestly, they talked about this man's piano a lot in Twilight and then I think he plays for Renesmee at some point in Breaking Dawn, but he just forgot. He got some poussoir and forgot about his piano. I love that. But I love that he's playing for Esme and like all these things. I don't like. Sorry. He has all this
together,
like
Zulay.
I'm sorry. He has all this animosity for so many of the women in this book. And the way that they're painted, like, I get it, I guess. But the one person I wish he would have animosity for, he doesn't. I cannot stand Renee. She is a terrible parent.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Really? Why? I don't remember.
She's negligent. If you remember Twilight, Simon, Bella leaves because mom is like, you know, country hopping with her stepfather who can't even play baseball well.
Girl, she wishes it was country hopping. Right? It's just state. Yep, it's baseball.
Right.
And Bella, like, chooses to go live with her father. And, you know, Renee doesn't want to be tied down. There's one conversation that Bella and Edward have in the book that he's asking her about, like, pets and stuff like that. And she was like, she realized why her mom didn't let her have anything more than fish. It's because she didn't want to be tied down and stay, like, stuck in the house. Yeah. Every weekend they would go on vacations and stuff like that. Like, the only reason she even let Bella have fish was because there were these like capsules that you could put in the water that, like, released on a timer so that the fish would stay fed. And it's just like, bro, you chose to keep this kid with you. Like, you didn't leave her with her father, so, you know, but now her life is revolving around you. Right. When it should be the other way around.
The fact that Bella is so responsible. I mean, she's a Virgo, so you know. But the fact that she's so responsible is, like, problematic. Like, her level of responsibility and, like, lack of, like, spontaneity and things like that is so sad because, like, she has Yes, cooking every day, and she went from being the caretaker for Renee
to being
the caretaker for Charlie. Yes, exactly. And so
Charlie puts in a little bit more effort with her, like with regard to like he's like, damn, you know, she's staying home all the time and blah blah blah. Like he notices, but he also doesn't.
I'm mad at Charlie right now.
Oh, by the way, speaking of cooking, there's
hold on. Why are you mad at Charlie?
Well, let Simon go, and then I'll tell you why I'm mad at Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of cooking, I don't know why I remember this particular thing, but I do. In the first book, she says how she's boiling steak, and when she said that, I'm like, what is wrong with you? You do not boil steak.
Wait, did she really? Oh my God,
Yes.
That's terrible.
Wait, I don't remember this at all. She said,
I
do,
either.
and I was very upset.
Oh my God.
It's the
oh,
little
you
thing,
remember
Simon.
that part,
I got
Simon.
you.
I know. Like I said, I remember the strangest thing, but yeah.
You sure she didn't say broiling steak?
Yes,
Let
I'm
me
sure.
Let me look it up. Oh my God,
please do.
I cannot believe she was out here boiling steak. What's wrong with her?
Are you sure, Simon?
It's that Forks Washington method.
Ooh,
Is it
Yeah.
Forks
you know
Washington?
it.
Unless I'm...
Boiling steak? Who boils steak?
Bella, apparently.
But Zoo, you were going to tell us why you're mad at Charlie at the moment.
Yes, I'm mad at Charlie because like I said, I was reading in clips, and Lily and I had previously spoken about how much we love Charlie and how, especially in
terms
comparison
of
with
like YA parents, he's
Right.
actually like
He's pretty
somewhat
good.
aware.
Yes, he is. But I'm upset because I read.
What the Charlie?
I read the. What did I read?
I don't know.
Jacob kissed her.
Oh,
Jacob
and he
kissed
didn't
her.
like get on. He didn't like get on him.
And he was just like,
forced it. Yeah.
Yes, and then on top of that,
Was this
of
when she
that,
punched him and broke her hand?
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
and then so Jacob came and dropped her off at the house or whatever, and he stayed even though what's her face? No, not her face, his face. Even though Edward was there and coming or whatever, and Bella was like she was rightfully upset that she hurt her hand hitting this man, and also that he just was out here kissing her without her permission, and Charlie is gonna have the audacity to turn around and be like, Bella, be nice. Bella, be nice.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. All right.
But you
gave me
he
the
was
one reason that
he was the one who picked up the pieces after Edward left. So yes, be nice to Jacob.
Girl, no.
He's kissing you
Absolutely not.
because.
But like you force your
Absolutely
there's a
not.
line.
I'm still trying to find my justification. Can you stop interrupting me? Thank you.
No, I won't let you go out like that. That's not the hill I'm gonna let you die on. And then he wants to clean it up and be like, oh, maybe I should teach you how to punch. Nobody should kiss you if you don't want them to. Oh, now?
Yeah. After the scene.
Afterwards.
That's fair. All right. That's all right.
That's why I'm
I
upset
can't
with
be
Charlie.
mad about that. That's fair. Okay.
But otherwise, I like Charlie. I like that he doesn't like Edward.
Yes, I really like that actually. That Edward isn't just like amazing and everything is good, and I like that he sees Edward messing up, leaving Bella in the woods
In the woods!
and he's like, no, that's not cool.
That's not cool. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when they were driving to graduation in the third book, and Edward was right in the back of the cop car, and Charlie kept smiling at him?
Because he just kept picturing him in handcuffs and stuff. I really want these next 3 books from his point of view. Like, I wanted so
Okay, that's exactly what I texted Lily. That's exactly the moment I finished. I was like, where are the next 3? These better not be it. And then Lily, what did you text me? A link? Or you texted me something?
Yeah, so she says that there are 2 more books in the series. However, they were speculating that it might not be Edward's perspective. Like, one of them might be introducing a new character or something. Yeah, no, I agree.
What?
I'm not as interested. I don't care about Renesmee all grown up.
Listen, I'm
Midday
sorry.
Sun needs to come. Okay, whatever.
Midday Moon. Okay.
Midday Moon.
Oh, there you go, Lily. That's the book the book title we were looking for. Not New Moon, Midday Moon.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Exactly.
How many times can you go around the cycle of the stars? Like just like too many.
She's gonna find them. She's gonna find all of the ways. Something else that I enjoyed about Midnight Sun though was I guess seeing more of Rosalie, even though she wasn't portrayed the best, I also enjoyed watching their relationship, watching Edward and Rose's relationship without Bella. So I agree with Zoo. Like the women in this novel were portrayed pretty terribly. Like Bella, Alice, and Esme were like the only good ones. But
And Angela.
And
Angela. Those were but they were also like they needed people to protect them, and otherwise they were narcissistic bitches like Jessica and
Rosalie.
Renee. Well, not Renee.
Except Renee was narcissistic. She was a narcissist, but not a narcissistic bitch. There's a difference,
Yes. And then Rose though she's just jealous. Like that's her personality. She's jealous, and everything revolves around her appearance and blah blah blah. And I feel like there are definitely people like that, but I feel like it sucks that because she could be such a good character. And it feels like it sucks that she's just reduced to just like the jealous woman. You know
what? He does Emmett and Rosalie very dirty, very, very, very dirty, because Emmett is just this goofball who is, and look, don't get me wrong, I love Emmett, but can we give him a little more substance? Yes, they are the dumb jock and the stuck-up narcissistic cheerleader. That's messed up.
Except, I mean, they are together.
Yeah.
This is true. Can you guys hear my mom's laughter in the background?
It kind of adds to it. Yeah.
By the way, did you find that thing I was talking about? Just to make sure I wasn't wrong.
I got sidetracked. Sorry, let me look it up.
Yeah, please. So we talked about this book being twice as long as the first one, right? And I think another thing that she added, which I appreciated, was more backstory, like Carlisle's past, right?
Yes,
like I read before, like how Emmett came to them. Alice.
I found the steak. Sorry.
Oh, please.
I found the steak. So it wasn't boiled. She let me see what it says. So I wrapped potatoes in foil and stuck them in the oven to bake, covered a steak in marinade, and balanced it on top of a carton of eggs. Sis, what is going on?
Wait, how did I get that wrong? When I could have sworn I kept hearing
to broil. It was to broil. Yes.
Oh,
okay.
See?
Maybe you just misread it then in that case.
No, I was listening to it.
Got it. Okay. Because I'm like, wait, what happened to the steak? It's just on the eggs.
It's on the eggs. It's balanced precariously on the egg.
Okay.
That sounds like a very precarious situation.
That's better though, at least. I thought I was hearing boiled. Okay.
I was concerned for both of them.
All right, maybe that's why you didn't like the book, Simon.
Even in breaking down, like, bro, how are you you boiled your steak?
That is a valid criticism.
Boiling steak. But yeah, the backstory was cool. I
definitely agree with that.
Who else was okay? Wait, Zulay. You finished Eclipse?
Yes, I just finished Eclipse.
Are you sad about Bree?
I don't give a fuck about Bree.
What?
I'm sorry. Let me tell you.
Well, I asked her if she was going to read her short life, and she was like, "No."
Wait, have you never read it?
Anyway.
No, I never read it. That's why I don't care.
So I read it.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the backstory. And
for Bree?
you feel and you feel sad.
Bad for her?
Yeah,
do you?
I do.
Oh.
I actually do.
Who was Bree again?
She was that one.
Vampires.
Mm-hmm. So do you remember that in Eclipse, the threat was that Victoria was out here creating armies to kill. And then like one of the newborns was Bree, and she surrendered.
Right.
Okay.
And then Carla was like, yeah, like we'll teach you the lessons. And Jane and the Volturi were like, no.
Just like that. Oh, that's another thing. I'm happy that the Volturi is mentioned in his narrative because it makes them seem like they come less out of nowhere in New Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, and obviously Bella doesn't know everything about the vampire world and all that stuff like that, but it makes it a little bit richer. Like I said, that's the whole thing. I feel like his narrative just made everything richer. Like we get a lot more context, him being able to read minds. Also, side note, I told this to Zulay, but people in the reviews were like, I can't believe Jessica was so mean. Like him reading her thoughts. Jessica was always trash. Like a trash
was kind of mean though.
Yeah. Always. Like were we reading the same book?
Were you guys reading?
Yes,
exactly.
No, we didn't know how trash she was, but we could suspect.
Like in the second book, I remember distinctly, for example, when Bella was all depressed and she almost got hit by a car. I don't remember what happened.
What?
I know what you're talking about.
And Jessica was just like, "You're crazy. You're suicidal." Like this.
Okay,
and that.
but to be fair,
She kind of was.
She was. But
Simon's like, you could have been nicer about it.
Listen, Simon, let me tell you why I don't feel bad for Bella in this situation, okay? I was reading New Moon and I was very into it, and then I had to skip a few chapters because I refused. Bella almost got raped and murdered in Twilight / Midnight Sun. Then she's all depressed and stuff. Poor Jessica is out here. It's nighttime. They're in a strange, for what is to them a city.
Two women alone.
2 women alone. There's like these 4 men hanging out in front of this bar. You know, men are whatever. And here come Bella talking about, let me go over there so I can hear Edward's voice. Are you crazy, bitch? Absolutely not. I would have no sympathy for her either. If I'm Jessica, I'm like, girl, don't talk to me.
See, I like this because, like, you just like the Charlie thing, and just like this, you know, you're good at picking out the little spots that we kind of gloss over.
Mm-hmm,
we overlook because, like, well, no, we like the you know, like, we want to think how.
Yeah,
we think
I
about
actually
the
forgot
character.
about the whole scene in general, but yeah,
He just remembered that part. So mentioning Victoria, it was also very interesting hearing her thoughts and hearing how like skittish she was.
Yes.
Like she was just ready to bolt at like the slightest provocation. It was also interesting.
Which gives it more sense for Eclipse, because that's how she is in Eclipse. But like you see it more, because Bella wasn't really, I don't think she was super focused on Victoria.
Bella was super focused.
She was about to stab herself. Remember that whole thing with the rock?
I sure do remember that. And here, poor Edward is over here just like trying to fight these 2 vampires with stuff. And here's Bella like, oh, let me be the 3rd wife and the martyr. Ma'am, sit, put the rock down.
Yeah.
Out here re-breaking her knuckle that she already broke on Jacob's jaw. Please stop it.
Oh my God.
Bella's so annoying. She's
If you
really
couldn't
annoying.
tell, I don't have a lot of sympathy for Bella.
Yeah.
I think I like I said, I like her better through Edward's eyes. I do, right? I still sometimes feel like, you know, he's like, she's so selfless and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like Zulay had said this, that he's just like justifying her actions, or he's putting reasons to her actions that probably aren't there because he can't read her mind. So he's like overly reading into everything. Like he was like, oh, you know, she was so...
He always gets her so wrong.
He does. Like you can still read
She's
the room,
gonna be
sir.
terrified of me. Oh my God, Edward, you're so perfect.
You're so pretty. You're so sparkly.
How long did it take him to realize that she's into it? Like, come on, dude. Right?
4 books.
Too long.
Yeah, too long. 4 books.
It's the 3rd book, and he's finally like, oh, get it? You kind of like me, huh? Sir, did we miss the part where she was jumping from cliffs?
Yeah, exactly. That was wild, though. Like that she
It
was
also
jumping.
took her a ridiculous amount of time to figure out that this man loved her. Do you remember when they got back from Italy, and then she woke up and she was like, oh, both of them with the fucking I'm dead until life is bearable because you're here with me in hell. Like, what is going on? But then, and then they're like, she's like, oh, this is a dream. I don't want to wake up because you're here in my dream. And da-da-da. And he's like, no, I'm here. And he's like, I love you. And she's like, uh-huh. That's okay. I know you're lying to me, but I'll believe it anyway for right now, even though I'm not going to let myself hope. And then he's like, I love you. What do I have to do to tell you I love you? I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. And then they're running through the woods because she finally decides that, like, nah, we about to make your family vote. Listen, I just read it. Appreciate me. So they're running through the woods for like to have his family go vote on whether she's gonna be a vampire, because Edward's still like, nah, you're not about to be a vampire. Okay, bro, your whole family's about to die. And then out of nowhere, she's like, stop. I just had an epiphany.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh my God.
You love me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What has he been telling you for the last 5 hours?
Do you guys curse in your podcast?
I'm sorry.
So
No,
many-
yeah, don't know.
We don't care. It's fine. It's fine.
In her defense, he did just leave her for like 6 months.
Okay, that's fine. No, you're right. You're 100%.
So if I was her, I'd be more on the mad side than the disbelieving side.
She always acted like he was a gift. It was like, oh, I can't live without you because you're so special and you're so pretty. Do you understand how mad I would be if my man left me in the woods?
Because the thing that I didn't get, though, is because he's claiming that this is for her safety. But how's leaving her in the woods for her safety? After in Twilight / Midnight Sun, you're like, oh, predators could be in these woods. Like, what?
Okay, but to be fair, if he had left her, I mean, I guess he could have left her on the 1st floor, because if he had left her like upstairs, you know she would have ran down those stairs and broke her neck trying to run after that man.
He could have like left her at the lawn or something. Or
No,
whatever.
she would have still gone out there. He left her on the path.
I guess, but you know she could break herself on the path. She breaks herself like
On flat
in her
linoleum.
home. Yeah.
Bro, when he was like, go ahead.
Whenever he was waiting for her and he heard her just tripping down the stairs and like stumbling into the door.
Yes.
My sis, what are you doing? Why are you?
I love it. It takes him so long to like have the thought that, oh, I guess other people thought she was clumsy. Like,
Yes.
like he doesn't get.
And
But,
he's
like,
like, I never
Stephenie,
thought her of
clumsy
being
is not
clumsy.
a
She's so
personality.
graceful.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm here with the quotes. When she was like, that he had never seen. Oh my God.
I
wait,
love
let me
that
get
you
it.
have the quotes. That's
I
it.
No,
Listen,
it makes it better.
It does make it so much better.
But clumsy is not a personality trait. Like there still needs to be more.
A lot more,
She's like
and
the
she doesn't
damsel in
have it.
distress, and he has to come to her rescue. That's
Oh
all
my
what
God,
they
it's
need.
so
Okay,
annoying.
That's
but
all they
she's
need
just
for
stupid.
love.
She's a stupid damsel. Like,
She-
because you could be a damsel in distress, like, I guess, but do
Oh my
you have
God.
to, like, put yourself into, do you have to trip opening your car door? Like, I don't,
Listen. She stumbled twice on her way to my table, though there was nothing in her way but perfectly even linoleum. Seriously, how had I missed this? I don't know. How had you?
Maybe he spends so much time looking with his mind, he doesn't look with his
Oh.
eye. I don't know, you know?
Okay, but
No, that
listen,
was good.
because
That
the
was a
next
really good
word
line.
is, because literally the next sentence is, I'd been paying more attention to her silent thoughts, I suppose.
Oh,
Look,
oh wow.
You got it, Chuckles?
I got that too. Oh, I'm not comfortable with that.
Wow.
I also love how many times they say the word linoleum in his dialogue. Like multiple times, like in the cafeteria.
There's been,
Made me
I've
snort.
counted
Oh my
4.
God.
Yeah.
I've counted 4 times so far.
Yeah, there's a lot of linoleum
lot.
happening in this book.
They like linoleum. We don't have just regular tile. Like, we have linoleum.
yeah, why not
okay?
like carpet? Like, why not? I don't know.
The linoleum is under the shag carpet, don't you know?
Oh. Absolutely right. Oh my God. Yes. Oh man.
Do you remember when they're in the car and they are they're going to, you know, like this is right after the baseball game and Laurent and the other dude, what's his name?
I love how you say his
James.
name.
I love it
Say
too.
his name again.
No, I feel so conscious. Oh my God, no, I don't want to.
I'm putting you on the spot. Say the name again. Listen, Miss taking
Like-
French
There
classes
you
in
go.
school.
Laurent, like,
Ooh. Okay, anyway. Go on.
Chuckles not for the audience, okay? Anyway, so what's the other one? Oh, James.
James.
So when they were when they were like, you know, when James was coming after Bella and they were in the car and Bella's like, stop, and Edward's like, no, I'm taking you away. And it's just like,
I do remember that. And it was like, Edward, she has a point.
Yeah.
and also, even if she didn't though, like, why does your will supersede
Because he
hers?
knows better.
Because he's a man and he, you know, doesn't listen to his little woman. Apparently.
1918 style.
Yeah, exactly. 1918.
So on that topic though, going back to Rose, she's the only one who fights. Alice needs to be protected by Jasper.
Esme needs to be protected. Although, to be fair, that's just Jasper being a gentleman. Because
I get
Eclipse, because in Eclipse, she's out here dancing and dodging and like, and Jasper, like, he gets himself bitten in Eclipse because he was trying to protect Alice. And then it's like, Alice isn't here, better protect her.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
good.
But I'm still just stuck on, and then everybody's telling him to stop, and he's like, no, rawr, must protect the woman, me man, me vampire.
Because he has aggro. You know that. Do you remember the race, like the whole race car scene?
Yes!
On the, like,
Love
that's
that
a
scene.
production. Like, Jesus.
That was kind of good. She was good at being cinematic in this book.
No,
She
she
was.
really was. She was.
Okay. But
ahead.
on that note, I enjoyed when, you know, they were like stealing cars and then they like got the woman out of her minivan.
Yeah.
And he was like, it was the most beautiful face he'd ever seen. And even as she's thinking that, like, Carlisle's pulling the needle out of her arm to
Like,
drug this woman. Like, this
Lily
poor
loves this
lady.
scene. This is one of Lily's favorite scenes.
That might say a lot about me, but
That's absolutely true though. Like in her perspective, like they just GTA'd her, like crashed her car,
Yeah.
drugged her, and left her unconscious on the side of the highway and flipped her car into oncoming traffic or the other car.
God.
Wait, why did they do that again? I'm confused.
So Bella's over here being a masochist again, right? The hero, the martyr, not masochist,
Right.
martyr. And she's like, oh my God, I gotta go save my mom, which to be fair, I would as well, right? So she leaves, runs away. Edward gets off of the plane after he's almost crashed that plane because he wants to get off of
He got off the plane.
He got off.
Sorry.
Love that scene.
Did you just do a... Never mind.
Friends.
Yes.
Yes, friends.
Okay.
Friends.
So Edward is like all excited to see her, and then come to find out Bella has left. And so they're like racing. They steal this person's like car from the garage, and then they're racing. The cops are after them. They're like, okay, time to put this into traffic, and they flip it over into oncoming traffic. And then they steal this other lady's car and then continue to race on their way to go save Bella.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like action movie, like Fast and Furious, like
but it
full
was like
on.
well written. Like I
was
actually
good.
really enjoyed it.
She's really good with the suspense, like getting these people there. In New Moon, when Bella's like running across the town to like
The fountain and the square.
Yes, the fountain.
Yeah.
Yep, love it. Love it.
It was good. When she when she saw like the little bits of the water, the fountain, like through the people, and she got to the fountain, and she's like, "Oh my God, there's a fountain!" Like, yeah,
Yes!
run, jump, go! Yo, it's ringing, go, run faster!
Yep.
Right? Like,
Yep, it was great. That
built
was
suspense.
actually a perfect rendition of what was going on.
I love to give voice. Thank you. Go
Something
ahead.
else, I love when they're in the car and they're like rushing to the hospital, and Alice is like flipping through the future, like how she's gonna make everything like set the scene and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I love how she like rewinds, she goes back, she adjusts everything, and then
Perfect.
Edward's like, and now I get out of the car to go relive it all again.
Yeah, I remember.
For the first time, I'm like, that was great.
I love their like play off of each other, like the psychic and the mind reader. Like I think that's really cool.
I love how I love that in the baseball game when Rosalie was trying to be petty, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna take Jasper and Emmett, and Edward's like, all right, and him and Alice are just out here cheating because like he's seeing the present and she's seeing the future, and it's all love it. I love that.
And that they get penalized by Esme if she catches them cheating.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a parent. I love it.
Such a parent. I love that. She's more of a parent. Like, I know that they all look at Carlisle as their father figure, but Carlisle acts more like the big brother. Esme is such a mom.
She's definitely the mom.
I wonder.
I had to sneeze, but it's gone.
Oh, you good?
Yeah.
We could pause for a second.
No,
Get some
it's
water.
fine.
You know.
My water's downstairs. I'm too lazy to go get it.
So Edward, he talks about, so like Bella's interested in everyone's like abilities, right? And so he starts describing everyone's abilities. How like there's someone who can see the future. There's someone who could read minds. How annoyed would you be if your beauty, or no, if your special ability was beauty, or like being like a little more strong than the rest,
Than everybody
except
else.
not stronger than babies who are like under a year old.
I'm telling you, you did them so dirty.
Yeah. That's why Rose is so upset and so just like Bella's already more
Especially
special.
when her beauty was the thing that like caused her to be violated in the first place. That's terrible.
And then Bella has already more of a power, like the fact that her mind can't be read than she does, and she's this pudgy human. Which, oh my gosh, those descriptions of the human faces,
I got you.
Pudgy human.
I got you. I love this part. They sounded so disgusting. We sounded so disgusting.
You just set yourself outside of the human race.
You gotta keep vote.
Okay. The human faces were so completely different from ours. Their dull, pitted skin, their poorly molded features, so rounded and lumpy, the mottled colors of their imperfect flesh, the clouded, roomy eyes must be nearly blind, I thought, if they could really believe we belonged to their world. What is wrong with him?
What the fuck?
That's how he saw the human race, Simon.
He's doing the brooding artist thing, okay? That's his vibe.
Yes!
Brooding.
Wow.
He's such a brooder.
Yeah.
I need him to go to therapy.
I recently watched a video about how much of a Byronic hero he is, and it's very much true.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Like the brooding, like bad boy who,
Tragic.
you know, he gets the attention from all of the women, but he doesn't like want it. He doesn't seek it out. he wants inner peace, because of this turmoil, but the living hell that he's in,
Oh, but his peace is Bella.
Whatever.
There was something that you were saying that like jogged my memory, or never mind.
This is a running podcast where we're talking about Midnight Sun.
I see.
And Edward's favorite sport is running. Look at it.
There we go. It all ties in.
This podcast is made for you, buddy. Come on the podcast, Mr. Edward.
Do you want his beautiful velvety voice?
The rough velvet.
Chuckles?
Rough velvet, huh? The only downside is you can't see his sparkling skin through the audio.
Yeah.
That's when we launched the video version of this podcast.
Just for him.
Oh my God, do you remember in New Moon when she took the picture of him and she wasn't sure if he was going to pop up on the camera?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I kind of loved that though.
He was just laughing at her. I know he says he doesn't, but I know this man thinks, like, sometimes, even in the smallest part of his brain, he got to be like, she a dumb bitch. Like,
I would have appreciated if she had included that dialogue in his mind in this book, Midnight Sun.
Yes.
Just like once. Be like, just a little bit.
Is he serious? But no, he's so blinded by her amazingness. Oh, okay. On that topic, I love that she was plain to him initially.
That's literally what I was gonna say. I just remembered. Go ahead.
He was like, I don't understand what the appeal is from her. Like, why do all of these boys love her? Like, she's just so plain. Like, she's so bland and stuff like that. And then I remember sometime later after they get to know each other, he smelled her blood a few times. And he's like, when did I ever think this face was plain?
She's exquisite. I always remember this one particular line from Breaking Dawn when she's like being transformed or whatever. And Alice is like, oh, she's going to be beautiful. And he was like, she always was.
Oh,
Edward, shut up.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so fun to listen to, like, you guys talk about your perspectives, because I'm just sitting here getting my memory refreshed after 12 years. So
yes,
is it all coming back to you?
yes.
Simon, sound more excited.
Yeah.
Sound alive like the vampires aren't. You know how much Edward would kill to be in the position that you are?
Not Edward, Rosalie.
Rosalie.
Edward would want to be alive for Bella, so that he didn't have to make her into a vampire. But Rosalie,
right?
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I know this always happened. Always. I know this is about Midnight Sun. But do you remember in Eclipse when?
Yes.
Do you remember in Eclipse when the night before the fight, when it was like really
The
cold?
same sleeping bag.
Yes.
I'm
I
just
don't
keeping
remember.
her warm.
Okay, so it's the night before the fight with the newborns or whatever, and it's like freezing. Like it's June, but it's snowing. The wind is howling. Bella's in the sleeping bag.
Storm inside.
Anyway, and she's like over here chattering. She's almost biting off her tongue. That's how hard she's shivering. Like, and Edward is like, Jacob is like, this is too cold. He's out here howling, being a wolf. And Edward's like, why don't you go fetch a space heater? And Jacob is like, oh, wait, like, I could be a space heater. And he, like, transforms into his human form. And then he, like, gets into the sleeping bag with Bella to warm her up. And then him and Edward are having this conversation about how much they love her and how much they hate each other. And, like, why one is going to win over the other. And like, Edward...
But she's just there, just sleeping in the sleeping bag. Like,
and she's like... I feel like at one point she's almost like, oh, she doesn't even know if this is actually happening or if it's a dream. And it's like... no, it's fine. And they have like this nice little truce and they're discussing and Jacob is reading into Edward's mind. And I completely forgot about this part, but they were like, oh, you know, when does the truce break? And they're like at first light. So then when she wakes up, the next chapter, when she wakes up, she's really hot, right? And she's like, Edward, like, help me out of the sleeping bag. So Edward yanks open the sleeping bag and poor Jacob falls onto this icy ground, even though he's sleeping, and he wakes up.
Oh my God!
And he, of course, recoils from the cold, and he like rolls onto her. And Edward is already mad because he's jealous that Jacob got to like spend the night with her and all these things. And he flings poor Jacob into the pole, and then they literally almost kill each other. Like they're like crouching over there, like that was my growl.
That was amazing. That was the best part of this whole podcast. Like, honestly.
That was my growl.
That was amazing.
Oh my god! I mean, listen, they ended the truce at first light, right?
They did.
They started manipulating the whole right. His whole like, I'm gonna go and kill myself. Like I'm gonna die.
Yes.
Jump in front of danger if you don't beg me to stay.
Yeah. Francesco, I had completely forgotten about that part until I read it. I was like, what kind of blackmail is there? So toxic. So remember how when we were talking about like I like Jacob and like I felt bad for him and da-da-da. No, I'm mad at Jacob. That is not okay. That is emotional manipulation.
It is no, it absolutely. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it is. All right, I'm not even. Never mind.
You were going to qualify it.
I was going to qualify it.
Come on, let's hear. Let's hear the qualification.
It worked.
It did.
In the short term.
And it did. It did.
But it says it speaks to her lack of like confidence or whatever. That like even afterward, even after she knew what he did, she still blamed herself.
Yes.
Oh my God. Not right. I'm not saying that's right.
All these people need therapy.
Right. Yeah. They need like couples therapy, like all three of them, just together, couples therapy.
They need individual and then like throuple therapy. They really do. Because now Edward was wrong for this, but not as wrong as Jacob when he was like, oh, like this was like one of my, what did he say? Like something about his worst nights. And she's like, oh, like what's one of your best nights? And then they're talking and then he's like, when we came back from Italy and they're like, oh, and all these things. And she's like, oh, what's like another of your favorite nights? And he's like, 2 nights ago when you agreed to marry me. And poor Jacob loses it. And I love how right before that he says that, and she's like, oh, like that would be her. And then he's like, hey, so are you warm now? And she's like, yeah, why? And then Jacob howls and he's like, yeah, because your space heater reached his limit. That's not
Listen, that was a perfect line, okay? You could not have planned, and he did plan it, but oh my God, that was so good.
It was amazing.
It had timing, it had, like shizbaz, it had everything.
It was great. It truly was great. Let me tell you that Edward, like I said, I'm getting back sucked into it because Edward, he's like, I like Edward. I feel really bad for him. I just...
Do tell, why?
Okay, so he left her.
He lives forever.
He lives rich. Forever. He's rich.
Everything.
And handsome.
Yeah.
And everything.
Sure. And sparkly.
Okay. And sparkly. But...
And has airbrushed abs. Yeah, go on.
I can...
Chuckles, how inappropriate do you get on your podcast?
It's okay. Go all for it.
Okay. I've always wondered.
You're so dirty.
Give me a second. I'm blushing.
I'm gonna make you. No, you need to say it.
So
I'm not gonna help you. I'm not gonna lead you in.
They're all perpetually hard because they're marble. So does he just like walk around? Like, is he constantly erect, or how does that? Does he elongate? Is he a shower
stay ready so he doesn't get ready?
Is he a shower or a grower?
Like. I have so many questions.
He stay ready so he don't have to get ready. He just always...
Can we pause for a quick second? My mom's calling me.
You don't want to talk about Edward being a shower or a grower in front of your mom?
That would be a conversation.
Well...
Resume.
Yeah, he's ready. He's always ready to go. Always ready to go.
Does their body, like, do they lubricate? Like, I have so many questions. How much changes your body?
Wait a minute. That is a really great question because obviously when she's a human, she lubricates and all that, whatever. But when they're both vampires It's like two stones rubbing against
It
each
sounds
other.
like a rock slide. Okay, when we were reading,
Sounds like a rock slide.
I told Zulay it has to, because if baseball sounds like a thunderstorm, so I looked up the sound of a rock avalanche on YouTube, and I sent it to her, and I was like, "This is probably what it sounds like."
Wow.
Oh, God.
Well, if you think
Right.
about it, well, first of all, they have hair.
That's
right?
true.
So not all of them is hard.
That's true. That's true.
This is true.
Second of all, they do have two liquids, right? They have venom and blood that they consume from their
And
victims. And apparently, so maybe they do. Okay, so what does that come from?
Where? I don't know.
Like, where does it come from? Like
I don't know.
blood byproduct of.
So super concerned because I thought sperm was supposed to. Oh, I guess that's to create a human. But I was gonna say I thought sperm was supposed to be hot in order to be functioning, but they're frozen.
Cold.
They went
Bro, you
swimming
just
in a
blew
warm-
my mind.
What?
Because she was talking about the sperm being hot. Like, she just, wow, I didn't even think about that.
But I guess that's why they create like cold creatures.
I mean,
That still doesn't make sense.
they did also go swimming in a warm ocean, which could
They
have heated
did.
his body temperature up enough.
Oh.
Listen,
You know what?
it's
And that
making
makes a lot of sense because he says that the sun heats him up.
So,
This is
So he's like a
very-
snake. He needs the heat of like exterior sources. to,
I
like-
have one more question.
Yes.
I feel like there should be a monthly
Oh, and they
point.
throw up.
What?
I feel like every 28 days he should be unable to be around Bella because she's bleeding.
Yes,
So-
yes.
Oh.
You know, why is that blood different?
Because the uterine lining.
Yes, we
Spins it out.
know what happened.
No, I know you know what happened. I
I
was
paid
telling
attention in
her.
health class. That was enough. Stop it.
No, I meant that the uterine lining like dilutes. the
Like,
blood,
does it
so it's
not smell good? Okay, I guess,
I mean, it's still okay.
but it's still blood. You know?
I don't know if you remember. Lily, were you in Montenegro when Aaron was there?
No.
Okay, maybe this is never mind. Moving on.
Wait, no, now you got it.
No. It's all good. Wow, I gotta make sure. Anyway,
Tell us and cut it out.
no, I can't do that.
He's
So-
tempted.
Yeah. No. Anyway, so.
It's very rare that you get that flustered, and I love it so much.
Listen, no one listens to this podcast anyway. It's totally fine. I don't think there is another discussion where they talk about if Edward's a grower or a shower,
There
or
isn't.
how that whole thing works.
That should be in your description. That'll draw them in.
Oh, I totally exactly.
Oh,
If you think about it traditionally, right, the way you get hard is with blood, right?
Wait,
So
do
does
you
that mean
remember
that if he
Anita?
hasn't fed recently, he has a harder time?
Remember that's how things happen in Anita
That
with their
is how it-
vampires?
yes.
oh, right.
So maybe.
He-
And I wonder if there's a
Oh,
difference.
you know what? And he did feed right before.
He fed a lot right before the island.
Right before he did. So did
maybe-
he feed on the island at all?
No, he
right?
had to take the
don't
boat to
think
go
so.
off the island.
Mm.
Maybe we hit a jackpot.
Oh, he does go off the
Yeah.
island at some point because that's when she like wakes up and she's super hungry. She's out here eating raw chicken.
yeah.
All right, so listen, Simon. Okay, she,
Okay.
let me paint the picture for you again.
I think it's the best having someone who hasn't either read this in a while and who didn't read Midnight Sun on here, because you also ground us for
Right.
any, like, I presume you might have listeners who didn't read the books or whatever, so they're just like, what is happening? And you've got your friendly neighborhood Simon too.
The Simon barometer.
All right, so listen. So they're on the island. They've gotten married. They've had sex a few times. The first time we already spoke, he was out here gouging headboards and stuff. And then he was like, I'm never, and biting pillows.
Don't forget about, yeah. Go on.
And he was like, I'm never doing this again. And she was like, but this is so unfair. Like, I'm fine. Look, I'm fine. And he was like, no, we're not doing
Your
this
skin
again.
is mottled with bruises.
Bruises. Like, we're not doing this again. And then, like, they switch rooms or whatever. And then, like, one night she wakes up really hot. Double entendre, apparently. Because she finally convinces him.
Okay, that was cute. That was cute.
And they have sex again. And then he's like, all right, I guess I can control myself now. So it's like a regular thing. And she gets pregnant, but they don't know she's pregnant yet. And one day he goes off the island, I guess, to feed or whatever. And she wakes up and she's really warm because Edward isn't there as her personal icebox to cool her down in this sweltering place. And she gets up and she's like, oh, I'm really hungry. And she's like looking for food. And she's like, oh my God, some fried chicken sounds amazing right now. So she puts the chicken in the pan and she's frying it. And then she's looking at the chicken and she was like, fuck it, I'm really hungry. I'm not going to wait for all this chicken to fry all the way through. And she's just out here eating half-cooked chicken.
How is that? Okay.
It's not.
It's just not, Simon. That's all
It
you
just
need
doesn't
to
make
know.
any sense.
And she didn't put no seasoning on the chicken.
Like, even
That's
salt and
disgusting.
pepper,
You
you
might
know?
as well
like,
boil it.
You might as well.
Okay. My mother makes boiled chicken.
And did she
Does
not
she
put
salt and
any
pepper
salt or any seasoning
No,
in it?
she does. She does.
There you
All
go.
right, then.
I never liked boiled chicken.
That
I think we
illustrates our point
traumatized.
even more.
Oh, wait, pause for a quick second.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, she's talking to her mom.
My mom brought me my water bottle.
Hey, Lily's mom.
She's gone.
Okay, this has been a long time talking about vampire things here.
I should be
Raw
like,
chicken.
what kind of devil worshipness you that talk about that?
God. I never heard you
Francesco,
do.
you have to put this unedited up.
Oh, it'll 100% be unedited.
I
I
love
have
it.
the patience to go through this episode and edit all this.
I never heard you do a Caribbean accent before.
It's great. It's
I
very
don't
rare.
usually,
It's great. It's very rare, so you gotta appreciate it.
And now we have it recorded. I can
I
cut
kind
that
of
out
forgot for a second
and
that
make it your ringtone.
Oh,
I
God.
forgot for a second that
You forgot there was like a microphone roll and all
yeah.
that.
You know, we're just such a welcoming environment, Lily. We just put you at ease, you know.
Yep.
Sure. That's what we're calling it.
How'd you guys feel about in Breaking Dawn, the second part, right? It just flips to Jacob's perspective.
I was very thrown off.
I was
like,
bored by his perspective. I read through it.
Look, talk about another brooding character.
Yes.
I think she doesn't know how to write non-brooding men.
She doesn't.
But this is also what the teenage demographic has learned that they're supposed to love, you know? Like
A brooding man. So I guess I should have known, because in the epilogue of Eclipse, they switched to his perspective out of nowhere. And so like I guess that was like a harbinger for things to come when he got the wedding
harbinger,
invitation.
good word usage.
It was in my head and I was trying to think of another one and I couldn't. I was like, girl, just go with it.
Oh my God! Wow, this book, man. This book. I called Andrew when it was announced that this book was coming out. I think it was April or something. And I called him. I was like, the best thing, I hyped it up, did my whole thing. You wouldn't believe it, like almost awesome things, this and that. And I told him, and he hung up on me. Literally, he went click off. And I called him back. And then I called him back, and he pretended like he had no recollection of the conversation. So
I can hear him. He'd be like, "Huh? What? What?" Like I can hear it.
Me being me, I completely played along. So I gave him the whole pitch again, like the unbelievable thing you'd never believe. Literally like a 10-minute pitch, and I told him again, and he hung up again. So yeah. Simon was a little more like resignedly accepting of what was
It sounds like Simon.
Like, this
I
is
can
gonna
hear him be like,
happen.
"Oh my God, really? Are you gonna read that?" And Francesco's gonna be like, "Yeah, man." Like, just like playing it all cool. And Simon's like, "Oh, really? Okay."
I'm already catching up on this one series that. Well,
Simon's. We can get into that. So, Zulay, have you read
Because
Anita?
Vampire Bitch. She has read the beginning of Anita, and now she just calls me a dumb bitch every time I continue to read it.
Yes,
Listen.
because she's always complaining about it, and not only does she like complain about it and hate it herself, she subjects me to hearing about the complaints and about all the ways in which it is trash.
Listen, I'm like
spreading the love.
20,000 books in. Like I can't stop now, but I need to vent.
Lily's not a
you know?
quitter, okay?
Listen, you need to normalize quitting because that series.
Unless it's Grapes of Wrath.
Oh, I never read that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
don't do
if you
it.
do something once, like it's not a habit. Like if you do it again, then it's a habit. So you can't quit that one.
I am a quitter. I refuse to stay connected to things that I don't like.
The thing is because I liked so much of it, and so like initially I was like, okay, this book was kind of crazy, but you know what, maybe it'll get better. And then it didn't get. Then there would be like one book where I was like, oh, okay, she's kind of getting back to like the old ways.
Yeah.
And then
go
she would
right
just
back down.
avoid. Yeah.
Yeah,
just-
but like this book I'm reading now.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's me on an
Simon-
emotional roller coaster.
Simon's reading. What's the latest book that came out? 27 or 28?
27.
27. You were on. When did you start? 21.
I'm
or
on.
something?
I'm on 20. I was on 22. I read it. I liked it. Well, for the most part. And and now the 23rd book is considered to be like this short story. I didn't really care for it, so I skipped that one. And I'm on the 24th
Wait, that
book.
was Beautiful? Or
Jason?
No, that was
Oh,
Jason. And now I'm on the
yeah, you can skip
24th.
this fine.
Yeah, now I'm on the 24th book called Dead Ice.
So the first time that I got introduced to Anita, I was about somewhere between the ages of 16 and 18. No longer remember. I just know that I had a boyfriend who loves Anita, probably still reads it.
Wait, really?
And he,
Oh.
you probably don't know him. His name is Justin.
No.
Okay, there are like 1,000 blind.
There are a lot of Justins.
No.
I know. Well, but if he had said, yeah, which one, I would have narrowed it down further. But he said he doesn't know Justin.
Wait, not
Wait,
Justin,
unless he went to my
Justin?
school.
No,
he-
not that Justin.
Not
Not,
that.
Justin Robin.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm getting all the. Okay, go on. So you tried the first
Justin
one.
Rivera. Yeah, so I read it for him. He was like, "Oh, read it for me," because it was like on Bookshare, it wasn't yet on Audible or whatever. So I read Hit List, and I was like, "Okay, this is a thing. This is mesmerizing." And then I went back, and he was like, "Oh, like you." I didn't hate it. I actually kind of liked it. So I was like, "Okay, I'll read it." And I read up to Killing Dance. And then I started Burnt Offerings, and for some reason, like something made me go away from it, and I just never went back. Yeah. And I'm so glad, because the other day I was reading the reviews for the latest book, and it just, in addition to like every time that Lily complains, but like it just sounds terrible. I want no parts of it.
For those who don't know, the name, so it's called Anita Blake Vampire Hunter, right? And there's a whole other series, also about vampires, as the title may suggest. It's about vampires. But it's about this woman who, well, so the first book came out in the beginning of the 90s, right, Lily?
1993, yeah.
And it's still going on now. Like
27 years
later.
And this is not a Game of Thrones type situation where each book comes out every like 7 or so years.
No, they're 27 books.
Yes.
And it comes out every other year. Sometimes every year.
And so,
and,
we're so after all that, Lily, we are doing an episode on the latest book.
Yes, we are.
I'm ready.
Now, Zulay, this time Simon was the one who was on and not having read the book. How about
I'll take that role.
Yeah, you want to be on next?
I'll take that role.
All right.
And Simon,
Andrew wants no parts of this.
I think he's just like, nah. I told him that if we got to episode 49, then episode 50, I would let him do like a D&D thing.
Oh, that's
I think
cute.
he's just like, I made the
He's
mistake
just waiting?
Yeah, I know. I made the mistake of just telling him that and not like involving him in episodes 1 through 49. So I think he's just like sitting on the sideline, just biding his time.
I'm waiting.
Just waiting. So yeah, okay, cool. So we'll not the next episode, but we'll figure out the timing.
Yes.
Have you started it yet, Lily?
No.
Okay, good.
I read
She needs to emotionally prepare herself.
I do. It wasn't even like I didn't even need that much preparation for the last book, but I read the reviews and
See, that's where you went wrong.
I know.
That's where you went wrong.
But I read the reviews. I read the reviews for a lot of the books. I think I just
was it the last one, the one when we were in London?
Yes. And I didn't read the reviews for that one. I read the reviews as I was going along with it. I did? Oh, okay.
And
I was entertained. Yeah. I think I was entertained. I was like, oh my gosh, Zulay, they said this part was trash, and this I gotta read it. But this time I'm just like, oh no, this sounds so bad.
Granted, after I read Affliction, I read the reviews, and they were mostly horrible. So, but then they were pointing out things that I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes sense.
But you thought the book was generally okay, right?
Yes, generally okay.
Emphasis on the generally.
Yes.
Right, so
Simon, did you start from book one, or was that the first one that you read?
I did start from book one. So I read it. I started it in 2013, in the summer of after I graduated high school.
It was the summer. Oh,
Simon, please don't put that into perspective. Oh my God. I just thought about that. That was the year I graduated high school too, and it's like 7 years. Let's not move along, Simon. Keep going.
We just did the math too.
Yeah, and then so I read I literally binge read the first 9 books.
That's when I graduated from high school too.
Yeah.
7 years.
You guys make me feel so young.
7 years.
So I binge read the first 10 books, and then I slowly, read like the next 10 after that. It was really on and off, and then I stopped at like 22 for I think it was a whole year or so, even maybe more than that.
Yeah.
And then we decided we're going to do a podcast. So I'm like, all right, let me catch up. And so.
Now he's marathoning through the next book.
Simon, please let the story marinate a little bit so I can take a little bit more time before I have to read it, okay?
Oh, yeah, right. Because then you'll be stuck in the middle of the semester and be like, actually.
Not really. I'm only taking one class, so.
No, I meant her.
Her.
Oh.
Yeah, you got this, Simon. Just power through. We got this.
That's going to hurt me so much. And then I'm going to be like, ooh, look, French. Ooh, look, religion. Ooh, this is everything but Anita. Don't make me do it again.
I mean, if anything, that's a good productivity thing.
But you might be like so tired of your classes that Anita might just be like the one thing that might.
You're asking a lot, Simon.
I think you are. I definitely think you are.
It's supposed to work, but I don't think Anita will do the trick.
No.
Probably not.
We'll see. Well, I mean, listen, some of her books are awesome, right? And there are other ones that kind of drag on just because other people. I'll reserve judgment, right? Just because other people didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe they're crazy. Who knows? Fake reviews, man.
No, she only bought reviews for the good ones, silly.
Right.
But even in the 5-star reviews, people were like, they referred to the things that the other people didn't like.
Really, I'm trying. Okay?
But they just liked it.
I'm really trying. Okay, please.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're poking holes in the water balloon. That is the defense that I'm trying to I'm about to say I'm trying to erect, but after the previous conversation.
Black Edward?
I heard you slip with it. That was great.
I cannot wait to read this book again and see. I'm gonna poke holes into this erection situation.
You're gonna poke holes in the erection.
Wait. Now since we're back on that, what about the other? Remember the Vampire Academy books and stuff?
Okay, so I've thought about rereading them, but I couldn't bring myself to do it either because I feel like what was the teacher's name? Dimitri. I feel like I'm gonna find so many problematic things.
Wasn't he the one who was with the girl?
He was into Rose. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually reread Bloodlines. I read the first 3 books.
Vampire Academy with Rose and Vasilisa.
I thought you were talking about the
not Bloodlines.
You were talking about House of Night?
No,
Blue Blood?
Diaries.
Vampire Diaries. There's so many there's so much vampire literature. And guys, this is so bad, but I'm so ready for once my French gets a little bit better. I found a vampire show on Netflix that I really want to watch. There is an English version, but I really want to watch it in French. I do.
You're gonna be one of those people.
Francesco, did you read House of Night?
Don't take that tone with me, Chuckles.
I did not.
Oh, okay. Zulay. House of Night, book 1. How judgmental is she?
Oh my God,
Right?
she is so judgmental.
She's like, oh, like the thug looking guy with the saggy shorts that like has no
God.
education, or like the stupid dudes listening to country music. Like literally every
and
stereotype.
Aphrodite is the pretty whore.
Yes, like everything. And then at the end of the series, she's all about inclusion and like, everyone is together and be accepting. Come on.
I did not finish the series. I think I got up to
Chuckles and I did, and that last
8
book
or
was,
9.
It hurt me.
Oh,
I got up to either 8 or 9 because like when it came out, like it wasn't on Bookshare yet, and so then I just kept waiting, and I just got like sucked away from it or whatever. But
They're all on there now.
I know they are, girl. I've seen them
Bookshare.
on Bookshare.
Yeah.
I've seen them, and I've considered doing it.
You should just jump in at 9 though. Like you shouldn't restart, because your memory will be jogged.
Or like read the Spark Notes or the last one or something.
Do you
just to
remember
remind
Bull
yourself.
Poopy?
Yes, well, yes.
That hurt me so much. Like you could say bull crap at least.
Right.
Simon,
or just say bull. BS.
Yes, exactly. Just say BS. It's a game for kids. Like you can say it.
Simon, I don't know if you read House of Night, but so Zoe, the main character, she didn't curse, and she said bull poopy, and she said it like as an adult, like she.
Yes, Simon, that is the appropriate reaction.
No.
Yes.
No.
Lily, did you read like Braille or audio?
I did a combination of both. I was first introduced to it from my friend Mia, and I listened to it, and then I read most of them on my Braille note, and then the last like 2 or 3 I did on Audible because they weren't on Bookshare yet.
Okay. The reader for Neferet, good Lord. The voice.
Good or is that a good or is that a bad?
No.
Bad.
Yeah. I would do an impersonation, but I'm not.
Oh
as
my
good as
God,
Lily
please.
as that. No.
Please do it.
I don't
I'm
even.
thinking about her voice for her grandmother, her
Welcome
Native American grandmother.
to this Samhain.
Okay.
You sounded like a Japanese Indian. I don't even know. Like it was pseudo Asiatic. Like
Thank
it
you.
was just weird. There was a lot going on.
Listen, I got a diverse background, all right? I don't know. My ancestors were coming out. Oh my God, you bring back, wow. Did you read far enough to get to the blind girl?
I
don't think
was
she
introduced
did.
to the blind girl.
Oh, you were?
I got to the part where not Edward.
I mean, after a while,
Wrong
they're all
vampire.
the same.
Right.
Honest, like
That's true.
I got up to the part where Eric changed her.
she
And
couldn't
that was it.
be
That was the end of the book.
a blind vampire.
Hey, I know I can't see you, but can you not like rob me on the street, please? Because
Oh
I'm
my God.
blind. I
Listen,
can't
why
see.
do you?
Why
That
was she
sounds
walking at,
exactly
like, 3,
something
4
she
a.m.?
said.
What?
She was
Did
just
she have a
walking.
cane? Did she at least have a
She
cane?
did have
She
a
had a cane.
cane. She was
Okay,
tapping
fine.
it. She was
Yeah.
doing 2-point
Alright.
touch.
Yeah, he
Oh,
could
is
hear.
that how he figured out that she was blind?
I think so.
I think it took him a while too. It took him a while. It definitely took him a hot second. Oh my God.
I know.
Do you remember when? Okay, there are several ways that my mind could go right now. Hold on, let me choose. Okay, so I'll. Okay, Kelowna was such a disappointment.
Yes.
Such
Yeah.
a disappointment.
He was built up,
He
and then he
had
was.
such
Little bitch.
potential.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh, you meant it in another. Okay, I'm sorry.
that's how I meant it. That's
Okay, that's how you
pretty
meant
much
it.
it.
Okay, good.
And then I was gonna say, do you remember how Stark became like this warrior?
Yes.
Stark was so
When they went to-
annoying.
So annoying.
Yes.
How did she fall in love with? I mean, she was annoying too, but
They were all annoying. Like, wow, this rain.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know, if people judge our reading habits based on this episode, like basically everything we read annoys us and is kind of trashy in one way or another.
I know.
Oh my goodness, I
That's
do
how
have 4 and
things I
5
look.
stars, I promise.
Right. I promise, right? I like the things that I read. A lot of times, I promise, I do. I do.
I also like to hate the things that I read. Like, it annoys me, but I also enjoy it because then it gives me material. Also, I want to say that Zulay and I spent an hour and 30 minutes making a video on my channel of Midnight Sun. I was able to cut that down to an hour and 3 minutes. I couldn't cut that down even more.
Wait, hour and
now,
three from how long?
From an hour 30.
Wow. Good job.
However,
a lot of it was interruptions.
A lot of it was interruptions, but I like tried to cut out as much of like space as I could, some of our fillers. I was like, I really need to get this down. I almost got it to 57 minutes, and then Zulay was like, wait, I know you're wrapping up, but, and then she proceeded to engage me in conversation for another 5-6 minutes.
Yes. I was watching it. First of all, that was a really greatly edited video. When
Thank
you.
you.
When you pulled up with them, I said, oh my God.
Bella's lullaby? I
could not. I was like, she did the lullaby. I got so excited.
But it's copywritten, so I use Moonlight Sonata to give me a dark feel for the rest of it.
Got it. Okay.
But what I was going to say was,
I was like,
now we just spent
really
another
good.
hour and change talking about it, and we overlapped some of the stuff from the video, but we touched on other things. There was no reason for us to have that much to talk about.
It's a prolific series.
It's passion inspiring. It's thought provoking. It touches on a lot of societally relevant subjects.
Like the need
deep,
for
man.
therapy.
It's deep. Yeah.
But if we were talking about societal subjects, I just want to touch on the portrayal of Jacob, the Native American, who is russet and red, and she has to emphasize how red he is.
And how dark
repeat that
he is.
one more time.
I wanted to emphasizes how red Jacob is because he's Native American. So she wants to make sure you know that he's russet. And did I say that he has red undertones? And did I say that he was a red-colored wolf? And did I say he was brown and russet? And did I say that I almost didn't see his red blush, even though he has red undertones because he's so brown? So if we're talking about social and societal things, just wanted to toss that in there. Apparently, she really messed up like the for their, like, a lot of people they think that the culture, the Quileute culture is werewolves.
Like, do they actually believe in werewolves? Yeah, people.
Oh.
Do they actually have like werewolf legends in there?
I'm not sure. I never looked it up. They probably do. I feel like she probably did pull it from somewhere, but that was all she took.
And the imprinting on children.
No, that's from ducks, okay?
From what?
Ducks are the only ones who imprint. Yes.
What? Wow.
My sister was an AP bio teacher, and she came home one day and she's like, was there something with like somebody imprinting on a baby or something? And I was like, oh yeah, in Twilight, so blah blah blah, this happened. And she's like, what are you kids reading? And she was telling me that when they were talking about imprinting on ducks, they were like, oh, is that like what happened with Jacob and Renesmee?
First of all, I love that every time you tell the story, it's in the same inflection. It's great.
Like the animals, ducks?
Yes, they're like the only ones who imprint.
I kind of like that they imprint. Like I like normally when I think of ducks,
to it.
Yeah, when I think of ducks, I think of like Chinese food. Okay, that's normally what I think of when I think like duck.
Hey, I'm a little bit more cross cultural. I think of Eastern Asian food. Okay, not just Chinese.
No, I'm thinking like smoked duck, like the dish that's really expensive. Like smoked duck with fried rice on the side. It's really good.
No, it is.
That sounds really good, and I'm really hungry now.
Yeah. But anyway, but you're adding layers to, like, they have love, man. It's not just.
They do.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, your sister was out here judging our reading habits, but she never answered the question. Is that the way that they imprint? Like, is that?
I think she said yes, but she was also like, I'd have to. She was like, I'd have to read this crap to find out. So we'll just say yes.
Has she ever been a Twilight person or no?
No.
Oh.
No.
I hated Twilight in the beginning. Absolutely despised it.
That was the first book I actually read that I got into.
It did bring a lot of people to reading. It's also one of the kind of foundational books for YA as it is today, like in terms of like being very teen girl oriented.
For the klutzy.
Yes and no. Like there were definitely other books around that time, but she was definitely one of the sensational ones.
She was big. She was super big.
So young adult literature or children's literature, under 18 literature was becoming a thing. I took a children's lit course in kids. Like I didn't just learn this by myself. like from Google.
Yeah.
But so children's lit became a thing, starting with books like Alice in Wonderland, then Narnia, then Harry Potter. But it's still focused on sort of like
my first love.
They still focused on like a sort of an under 12, like a middle grade and younger
Yeah,
subset,
and I
like
think that's
Judy
why
Blume.
Judy Blume was great.
She brought a lot
she
of
was.
like books for like young girls as well, but sort of the 13 through 17 or 18 subset was always just kind of left out because you weren't an adult, you weren't a kid, and people didn't know how to treat you. Like, were you reading
Right.
Harry Potter or were you reading like George Orwell,
Hey,
Danielle Steele.
Hey, Judy
that too.
Blume did come out with Forever. Oh God,
she
in the 70s.
she did.
Yeah.
Simon,
In the 70s. Wow.
Simon, I don't want to talk
First
about
of all,
it, okay?
Okay. Oh God.
I wait. Did everyone read Harry Potter here?
Yes.
No.
I love Harry Potter.
I got so annoyed that nothing more happened between Harry and Ginny.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. I know everybody hated that Harry and Ginny got together, but
Wait, what? Who?
So many people
Who
were
are they? I'm gonna find.
No, Francesco,
your
this
dad
is
know a
exactly
few
how I feel.
Say again.
I said, does
That's
your dad
racist,
know
why?
a
'Cause
few
he's
people?
Italian.
Yeah.
He's
Listen,
Italian
Japan has
in
their
New
mom
York.
too, but I went for his dad rather
The
than his
Yakuza.
mom.
Oh, the Cosa Nostra versus the Yakuza. I love it. I'm here for it. Look at these mob connections.
Okay, did you read The Godfather? I mean, or read or watch The Godfather, Zulay? Now that you mentioned La Cosa Nostra.
actually did not watch The Godfather, but
She's read
I'm
tons
a
of
huge
mobster romance.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
I love a
She gets the
mobster
Russian
romance.
mob in there too, in case you're wondering, Simon.
I'm diverse. Okay. Atula, yes, represent you. The Irish mob. I'm here for it all.
Okay. So I read The Godfather and I thought it was too long.
Listen, every time I tried watching it, I fell asleep. And I know people swear by that movie and it's like a classic, and maybe one day I'll give it another try, but whew.
I think like that movie is similar to movies made around the same time, where the pace of the movie is just different from movies today. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah,
like
it is.
it's just the pace. It's just a different art. You know.
What it is that I tried to watch it too late. You know, had I watched this when I was a kid, it might be different because I love Titanic. I will sit through Titanic, which is like 3 hours long, and I will still sit through it. But it's a
I still have
different
not
experience.
seen Titanic.
I love Titanic.
I will see.
I acknowledge all of the problems with it, but I love Titanic.
All I'm saying is, even having not seen it, there was enough room on the board for
Yes, yes, there was. Now there might have been something about buoyancy and all that stuff, but they could have
he could have
switched turns.
He could have like treaded water.
Yes, they could have switched turns. Like
Yeah.
she could have given him a little chance.
Mhm.
Selfish. But yeah, Edward. I don't know. What was I? Way back when I was saying something about Edward.
Harry Potter.
Oh, I hated Twilight because when Twilight came out, the movie, so there was a pattern to the Harry Potter movie releases. And when Twilight came out, they pushed the Harry Potter, the Half-Blood Prince 1 year back, which messed up the pattern.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am not reading this. This is so stupid. Why would you ever fall in love with a vampire? This girl is dumb. I want no parts of this. Like, I refuse. And then I was in 8th grade, and I actually was rereading Prisoner of Azkaban, funnily enough, instead of paying attention in class. And my friend was like, no, girl, like, you have to read it. It's so good. Here, let me read you this part. And she read me the part where they were going to prom, like they were in the car. And I was like, I mean, I guess it sounds fine. I guess I'm gonna try. And around the time, like, my vision teacher, and we were about to go on to like winter break, Christmas break, and I had a braille note, and my vision teacher like wanted me to like start using it more and stuff. So she was like, okay, like she knew I love to read, so she's like, okay, I'll download some books or whatever. And so she downloaded Twilight, which I was secretly very livid about because I was not going to read Twilight. And then I got home, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll just try. And I started reading, and I never looked back.
And however many unnamed years later, you can quote passages.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
There were 3 things about which I was absolutely certain.
Oh, no! Please, Zulay, go. Tell me. That's how we close
Lily,
this.
do you have it?
Wait, hold on. I thought I remembered it, but I don't. Hold on.
No, we're not going to gamble, baby. I got it.
Wait, what were the 3 things? I was irrevocably, immeasurably, whatever.
Unequivocally,
in love. Yeah. There was like 3 unablies.
All of that.
Guys, I got you. You ready?
It was. Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
You guys can take turns. There are 3 things.
Ooh. Oh. Lily, we'll do the last one together.
Go for it.
First, I just want to say that Twilight did introduce me to a lot of things. Like, I might not have read whether...
Sorry, okay. Boiling your steak instead of frying it.
Anyway. I might not have read Wuthering Heights if not for this book. I think it's probably the reason why I read Jane Eyre as well.
I've never read any of those.
And it also taught me unequivocal and irrevocable.
Wait, so before you read that part, can I just read one of my favorite parts of
All right, we're ending on the quotes.
Yes, we're ending on the quotes.
Yes.
I also agree with Lily. This is the book that made me read Sense and Sensibility, and then after that I read
I couldn't get past
Pride
page
and
14 of
Prejudice.
Sense and Sensibility.
I love that you remember the
I do, because I kept going back and I was like, I'm just gonna start on page 15. I'm gonna start here. And I would read a sentence and I was just like, I can't. I don't want to read it.
So I will say,
I love that.
I don't know if you saw, Lily, but on Audible,
Uh-huh.
they have all these, for example, Jane Austen, the copyright's off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have these box sets of 90 hours of Jane Austen books, all read in one audiobook purchase that you can get all for 1 credit.
That's a lot.
Wow.
That is a lot.
Yeah,
that is a lot.
That was the first suggestion
That's
under
crazy.
Midnight Sun.
Wow.
And,
That is great.
And then the second suggestion was the entire box set, 80 hours of all the books of the Narnias.
Oh my gosh.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
So
All
in
for
case
1
you
credit.
ever get bored,
Yeah,
go
all
ahead.
for 1
Introducing
credit,
you
so
to quality fiction.
there you go.
No, really, I love, I read, I said, I read Sense and Sensibility and then Pride and Prejudice. And I had already read Romeo and Juliet, but Wuthering Heights, I love Wuthering Heights to this day. It might be time for a reread. It's been a really long time since I read it.
So I've never read Romeo and
and-
Juliet. I was working with my vision teacher in elementary school, and the 5th grade class behind me was listening to it, and the narrator's voice was just going on and
What,
on,
Narnia?
on, and Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, Romeo
and he
and
was
Juliet.
just talking like this, and it was a British man, and he had no inflection whatsoever, and I was like, this book sounds like absolute trash, and so I never read it. I could never bring myself to read it because I was scarred from that class listening to that audio book.
Listen, Romeo is an idiot, and the fact that Edward was out here not only sympathizing, but he was like, oh my God, I'm Romeo, basically. They all need help. She was Juliet. They made poor Jacob into Paris. Jacob didn't even know what was happening.
He was like, Paris, I never even left the country.
Barely left my reservation, man.
You know what is so great? I love that. When I got the book and I was reading the table of contents as a nerd does, I saw one of the chapters is titled Paris, and I was like, oh, she goes to Paris? And then I got to it and I was like, no, she's just out here doing whatever. But I was gratified because literally a few chapters later she was racing to Italy. I love that scene.
That's fair.
Wow.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
you guys have a quote?
This is one of my favorite parts. Yes. Okay. This is from Eclipse. This is before the preface. Love this poem.
The pre-preface.
Fire
Oh
and
my
Ice.
God. I know.
I can
the
actually
one.
recite it from memory because I love it so much. But some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice.
That was one of the ones I had memorized. I had all of the preface poems memorized. I had section.
Does it give a credit?
It's Robert Frost.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Fire and Ice
yeah.
by Robert Frost.
I had Edna St. Vincent Millay's poem about childhood memorized as well.
Yes.
Yes, for Breaking Dawn.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
she's out here clicking.
Okay. Lily, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to read the three things that she
yeah,
included.
Yep. Mm-hmm,
Okay.
Okay.
Wait. Where did it go? Why are there so many threes? I literally looked up irrevocably, then went somewhere, and there's just a lot of threes going on in the story, and I don't understand what is occurring. Hold on. Irrevocably. Okay.
This somewhat reminds me of the, I hold these truths to be self-evident.
That all men are created equal?
Created equal.
Well, besides that.
Was that where you were going? Oh, sorry.
No, just to lead in, no.
Oh, I was going to read the sentence before it. I wasn't just going to dive.
Oh, I got it. I finally got it. I'm so delayed. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Did you wanted to take turns with the things, Zulay?
Do it. Take turns. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. And then we can do the last one together.
That might be a Schmidt show, but okay.
Wait, but I'm actually not ready. I lost it again. Oh my God, where did it go?
My mom's cooking
Where'd it
steak,
go?
guys. I'm getting really hungry.
Is she boiling it?
Simon, I thought you were. Yes!
She's frying
I
it.
thought
Actually.
you were over the. Ooh, sounds yummy.
With some mashed potatoes.
Okay, I promise. Give me 2 seconds. Oh my God, I honestly don't know where it went. Okay, Lily, just go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I did, but I lost it again. I don't know. My brown note is being stupid.
Gotcha.
Lily, can you tell us where this quote exactly is? What book is this quote from? Like what's
It's in Twilight.
It's from Twilight.
Oh, set the scene.
Yeah,
by
set the
Stephenie
scene.
Meyer. Zulay, you set the scene and I'll read the quote.
Ooh, okay, but I don't remember this. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure. Let me just read like a little bit. I'm pretty sure. I'm like fairly certain that she just came. Oh yes, this is what it is. She went to La Push, and she bullied or not bullied. She seduced Jacob into telling her about the Cullens. And then she came home and she was out here having like nightmares and stuff. And then she had a dream about what's his face? Edward, and she did some Googling or whatever. And what I'm unclear about is if it's this part or if it's after they got from Port Angeles, but it's one of these parts.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead, Lily.
Hang on, because I haven't read dramatically since the last YouTube video I made. So let me.
Yes, please. Poise. Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind.
Nothing seemed clear at first.
Wait, can you speak a little bit?
Sure. Hang on. Let me get
yeah.
closer to the microphone. Hold on. I got
it's
you.
important, okay?
Hold on.
Oh, you're going back. You're really setting the scene.
Oh, no, it's just a sentence before. I got you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's good.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Chuckles. I'm trying to be serious. Stop.
Character.
Sorry. I'm in love with the vampire. Okay, I got this. Nothing seemed clear at first, but as I fell gradually closer to unconsciousness, a few certainties became evident. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was part of him, and I didn't know how potent that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him.
Stupid. Stupid.
Oh.
Oh, and I just read ahead a little bit, and yep, it's after she went to La Push and stuff. Yeah.
That was a.
That's awesome.
She's very.
Yes, that was a very nice.
Well, this was a good episode, guys.
He
Any
picked
closing
up.
thoughts?
Yes, it was great. I loved it. In conclusion, loved Midnight Sun. Really glad for it.
Highly recommend. # read it, please.
Yes.
In conclusion, if you wanted to hear Zulay and I ramble for an hour, I do have a video.
Yes, please plug.
Didn't get enough already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The video is called Midnight Sun Review, a Twilight Ramble.
Well, I like how you change. I see that. I see that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like that. I see you. I see you. Wait. Did you put a colon after sun?
Of course.
Of course. All right. I see you. Okay.
English major, hello.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Well, you got to drop the channel name if you.
My channel is Lily Mordant. That's Lily, Lily, Mordant, Mord as in Delta, AUNT.
Wait, N like
So
what?
November.
Oh, okay, like A like what?
Ooh.
Oh God.
A like Alice.
A like Alice.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, check Lily out. You have what is so you have a bunch of blogs with an acronym in front of it. What's the acronym stand for?
Oh, CLNB. I got tired of writing college life and blindness, so
Thank
I
you.
just
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a cool blog. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, very. Yeah, I like it.
Thanks.
Very matter of fact, very insightful. It's good stuff.
Thanks.
Cool. That's about it.
What kind of fake humble voice?
Zulay's an angry black woman on Twitter.
I am.
Yeah, Zulay, what's your
Black
Twitter? Let's
woman.
plug your Twitter.
My Twitter. Oh, I'm gonna have to spell it because it's in Spanish. Okay. My Twitter is at Sucursal del Cielos. That's at S. Wait a minute. I actually don't even know how to
Simon,
spell
what are you
it. Hold
laughing
on.
SUCURZALDECIELO.
Yes, that's my
Tell them what
Twitter.
it means, dear.
All right, can you run that,
Sucursal. Yes.
run that one
So
more time,
it's
Lily?
Lily. Spell it again.
SUCURZALDECIELO.
So Sucursal is branch. So I'm Colombian and I'm from Cali, and they like the nickname for Cali is La Sucursal del Cielo, which is like a branch of heaven. And so I was in a flash of inspiration. I was like, oh, I'm a branch of heaven. Not really. I was like, oh, this is where I'm from. Let me.
Oh, I like it. So like contact me at Branch of Heaven. I like that. That's cool. I
That's
see you.
pretty cool.
That's awesome. See,
So if you want to see me rant about
the establishment.
about the establishment, how much I love men and simultaneously do not, and all of those things, and occasional reality TV show drama with a lot of political tweets thrown in. Yeah, you go find me. There's that. Yeah.
Awesome. And for those who are interested, we are Run with Chestnut on all your podcast hosts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Google Play, everything else. We are at Run with Chestnut on Instagram and Facebook, and hopefully on Twitter by the time this thing lasts. We've been having a little trouble with Twitter.
Yes, we have.
A little trouble. We'll see if that happens. Also, www.runwithchestnut.com for all the links and everything else. Before we leave, do you two ladies like The Bachelorette, the show?
I watched it a bit as a kid, but I didn't watch it for. I haven't watched it in a
really
long time.
watched it that much. Is it good?
Okay, I have no idea, but I know someone is on it this semester, this season, and I don't watch it,
Oh, wow.
so I want to know if you guys. But anyway, sorry.
I'll ask my mom
Please
if
do.
she's watched it. Sure.
Anyway, that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Both of Lily's and Zulay's links will be in the show notes found on the website. And that's about it. runwithchestnut.com/whatever episode this is. What is this? 11? 11. 11.
12.
No, 12. 12. 12. 12.
Zulay's not even a part of your podcast. Why did she remember?
What's going on? Yes. runwithchestnut.com/episode 12. That's about it, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.